Nation building, nation building. What a lovely catchphrase. And actually a fabulous and wonderful concept. I'm all for nation building. Nation building, though, doesn't just mean borrowing billions of dollars and building new stuff. It means protecting and reinforcing existing infrastructures in society. Specifically, being a letter carrier, my main concern at the moment is Canada Post, the largest logistics company that is publicly owned and that covers the entirety of the country we call Canada. I believe that if you want a nation build, you have to make sure that the things that you're doing are actually in the best interests of the citizens. The nation. The nation is the citizens. The nation isn't the economic numbers and the wealth and the this and that. It's, in my opinion, the most important part of a nation is the citizens. You would like to protect their best interests financially, but also health, but also environment, and also, peace versus war, safety. I mean, there are a lot of things about nation building, but in particular, the thing that is upsetting me the most is that the government that is, speaking of nation building nonstop, is also allowing the degradation and dismantling of one of the most important services. Healthcare, obviously, has already been really incredibly damaged, and public transportation is at risk, education is at risk. There have been attacks to every public service. I think the thing that makes Canada Post unique is that it has been self-sufficient since its inception and is not a taxpayer-funded service. It is user pay, and it has never been a burden on taxpayers. And now it's in the discussion of all these little pieces of theater with the $1 billion loan for this to keep the lights on or whatever. Which happen at the same time as there's a purchase of a $1 billion company for the interest of Purolator. But who knows what that's about, whether there's a connection or not. But yeah, I feel that if you're going to have that principle, that you're going to nation build, then you should protect and you should ensure the continuity of something that has not been a burden to society for its entire existence. It's time to get the real numbers independently verified. Let's not just allow the corporation that has put us into this situation by its harmful decisions. I'll be kind. I have other words for it in private, but let's just say harmful. Harmful decisions that have cost a lot of business to be driven away from us, that have cost us in the terms of efficiency. It's now much more expensive and much more conducive to errors. All of the changes that have been made in the post office in the last couple of years, specifically the last 2 years, and now presently they are being allowed to do what they've been obsessed about doing since 2014. When it came into the public in terms of a big fight against putting community mailboxes everywhere and stopping home delivery and all these things they've just been driven to do, and feel like they've been setting up slowly by a drop at a time, little change here, little change there, make the service less efficient, create a situation where the public thinks that they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year because maybe I'm investing $500 million in one building in Scarborough that happens to share a parking lot with Amazon practically. And maybe that $500 million is going into the loss column right away? I don't know, but the Auditor General could answer that question, and she's independent, so it's up to us to ask the questions, but it's up to her, really, well, it's up to Parliament to call her in and get information before starting to make decisions about what should be cut. You have to look at how you got there. You can't just say, well, Nancy Kerrigan is just a terrible figure skater without maybe thinking that, somebody got their coach with a baseball bat to, do something to her knees. And I feel in this situation, that's postal workers and the public. The public are being crippled by the actions of the coach. And I don't think that this management team has the best interests of the postal system at all. And if they do, then they're just being misled, and they aren't recognizing the detrimental effects of every single decision they've made since 2018. So let's get some information out there. Let's get the Auditor General to give us the real numbers. I'm going to put a link to a chart of 10 years of numbers that I made. It has every single number is taken from the financial reports that are officially available online. You can do a comparison. It's from 2014 to 2023. I did a 10-year period, and I did it before the 2024 numbers were out. And I think it's really important because you can see a trend. You can see where some years we had record-breaking volumes and record-breaking revenue and still somehow managed to make huge losses, like $490 million in losses on the year where we made record revenue. So it doesn't really make sense. Or the year that we spent $743 million on capital investments, or at least investments, capital and non-capital perhaps. I have to double check that. And we declared a loss of $748 million. These things don't square to me. How much are we spending on carbon offsets? Why isn't the Auditor General being called in after so many year upon year upon year of these quote unquote losses? Why isn't the government stepping in? Why hasn't the government had any oversight, any effort of oversight at all? It just took the word of the corporation and said, oh yeah, you have to do exactly what they wanted to do in 2016 when the public spoke up. You spoke up, and they temporarily listened, but they started putting in place little breadcrumbs that would lead us right back to the same place. And here we are, and it's not too late. We just need to get active. We need to insist on a municipal, a provincial, a federal level. This affects every single Canadian. You are the shareholders of Canada Post. It belongs to you. This nation that is being so-called built has a fabric. Canada Post is that fabric. It has the most locations of any company in Canada, and it could offer so many different services at each of these locations, making the life of citizens much easier, much more convenient, and much less expensive. Let's go, guys.